When you see the contract he's on, what his role is meant for the Mets, and how much he seems to be hyped up by a lot of people, he really is one of, if not the most overrated and overpaid player in baseball.
Some people are really stupid.
iTALK, where's the Lindor apology video? That's not Francisco Lindor. Rose just a Francisco Lindor hater, but good vid. Lindor is a legitimate MVP candidate. This video has aged horribly and I love it. LFGM.
Okay, you win. To all you Mets fans and just general fans of Francisco Lindor who haven't left me alone since that video I made calling him the most overrated player in baseball, fine. I'll admit I was wrong. Partially, sorta, kinda. I was wrong. Now, I know this is one of those videos where I can't quote-unquote win with some people because of the inevitable comments like, but iTALK, you handsome gentleman. You said Lindor is overrated. You can't take that back. But if I never made this video, those same people would comment, iTALK, you fine man. You never owned up to your bad take. May you rot in hell and be forced to watch Kevin Smith movies for the rest of your life. Ouch, that's not ideal. But whatever. Either way, yes, I made a claim that Francisco Lindor was the most overrated player earlier this season. And you know what I did? I changed my mind. At the end of the day, I'm a fan just like you. I say stupid things and initially react to things in irrational ways and then say something else as time goes on. When it comes to baseball, I'm bipolar. We all are. I'm not above any of you in that regard. And yeah, Francisco Lindor has made me look like a complete pretentious douchebag. But let's not act like none of us have ever been a pretentious douchebag. I think the main reason I've been so down on Francisco Lindor is his hitting. Francisco Lindor is a good hitter. Francisco Lindor has always been a good hitter. Whether he was in Cleveland or the place Spider-Man swung around in Queens, New York, $341 million richer, he's always been a good hitter. I never once denied that. I just think I've been kind of jaded by big contract players. I'm going to be honest with you, as I always try to be with you beautiful people. When I think of big, massive, historic contracts, I don't give a flying about defense. When I think of big, massive, historic contracts, I think offense, and more offense. Defense to me is cool, it's fun, and the cherry on top to a star player. Barry Bonds, though, he didn't get paid for his defense, even if it was great. He got paid to do this, and would have gotten paid regardless if his defense was great or awful. Aaron Judge isn't paid for his defense. He's got a fantastic arm, and is so tall he can get to some balls in an easier way others can't, but he's not paid to do that. He's paid to do this, and would still be making what he's making regardless if his defense was great or awful. So when I think of Francisco Lindor, when I've thought about Francisco Lindor over the years after he became a Met, I've related him to someone who has the 6th biggest contract of all time, because that's what he has. Shohei Ohtani, owner of the biggest contract in sports history, is worth it. Why? Because he's a monster hitter. Mike Trout, before getting hurt all the time, has been worth his contract. Why? Because he's a monster hitter. Mookie Betts has been worth every penny of his contract. Why? Because he's a monster hitter. Same with Aaron Judge. Same for Manny Machado, although he actually has been closer to Lindor last couple of years in offense production. But you get my point. Does this mean you shouldn't value defense? No, you should. And feel free to value it and factor into how much money a player makes. But when I see Francisco Lindor, I think the main reason I went with overrated was because of how much he's getting paid and how much success the Mets have had while he's been there. Next to none. In the grand scheme of the world, Francisco Lindor is a great hitter. In the grand scheme of the world, Francisco Lindor is a fantastic hitter. But in the context of Major League Baseball, Francisco Lindor is a really good hitter. There's nothing wrong with that, and there never was. But rather than calling him overrated, I probably should have went with overpaid. I still don't believe Lindor is worth $34 million a year. I just don't. He's a fun player who Mets fans should be proud to have. And sometimes you have to overpay to get what you want. Just how it works. But taking money out of the equation, no, Lindor is not at all overrated. He's, I would say, properly rated. One of the best shortstops in the game, one of the most valuable premier players in the game that any team would love to have, and a big part of that is his defense. Just because my asshole self doesn't like to acknowledge defense as much when factoring who should get a lot of money or get in the Hall of Fame doesn't mean it's not important. It is. And I'm going to give Lindor a ton of credit for making me look like a complete dumbass. I won't deny that. That video of me calling him the most overrated player in baseball was on May 17th. Since that day, a day where Lindor was hitting under 200 with an OPS in the low 600s, and the almost 100 games that have followed. Lindor has hit 300 with an OPS well over 900, has hit over 20 home runs, he's the biggest civil rights activist on the field, he doesn't discriminate any part of it, he hits the ball to all sides of the field, he also doesn't discriminate either side of the plate, all while playing as elite defense as it gets. Nobody really has better range than this man. He quite literally doesn't neglect any part of his game. Did I overreact to Lindor's slow start to the season? Looking back now, yeah, I clearly did. He's gone on to put himself into a genuine conversation for the MVP award, a conversation many will argue he should be at number one. Call me an Ohtani shill, a Shohei, whatever you want to say, I don't care. As of right now, he should be the MVP. Francisco Lindor's WAR may be slightly ahead of Shohei, but keyword, slightly. Not that WAR should be everything, but just to play devil's advocate for my own argument. Lindor's is higher, but Ohtani's WAR is almost exactly what Lindor's is while not playing a single pitch of defense. Lindor's WAR is so high because of his offense and defense together, especially his defense being at shortstop, which is a premier position, so there's even more value to that. But Shohei's WAR is almost what Lindor's is by just his offense alone. He's DH'd all season. He just swings a bat and steals bases, and he's just about as valuable as Lindor in terms of WAR, all while being a recovering, rehabbing pitcher. Are you freaking kidding me? It's absurd. So yeah, I value offense astronomically more than defense. Defense to me is a cherry on top kind of stat if you're a good hitter. If you hit insanely well, that's enough to be a Hall of Famer. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't appreciate what Francisco Lindor is and has been doing his entire career. He's not overrated. That was clearly dumb for me to say. And I'm sorry, especially to Lindor. Not that he heard me say it. Well, maybe he did. So whether he did or not, I apologize. I was wrong. And while you've proven how wrong I am, you've led the Mets to a potential chance at the playoffs, something nobody believed would happen a few months back. So, after haunting me in my nightmares for months and making me go, oh my god, it was time to give Lindor the credit he deserves. Go follow my Twitch, by the way. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching.